I just hit Masters for the first time on Narmaya, so I think it's time to dive deeper into learning the character. We're gonna take a look at the best Narmaya in the world's gameplay and see what we can actually take from it. So the Narmaya player that we're gonna be studying, the best in the world, is actually Can of Sprite. So Sprite is an absolute grinder. You can see he's already #1 right now, and the season like just started, Season 4. They were also #1 for Vera in Season 3, and also Narmaya in Season 3. I mean, look at the amount of crystals freaking Sprite has, bro. It's actually insane. If you need more proof, though, I legit asked the Narmaya Discord, and Dragalia himself told us that he thinks Can of Sprite is currently the best Narmaya. So let's see what we can learn. Yule matchup. He's using 2M a lot, I'm not gonna lie. It is plus, I mean. That was a really quick way to sideswap, I'm not gonna lie. Like, usually you would think this is so slow, but the way he did it, like, he was making her respect a lot. And so he got away with it. I guess he had threat of Fireball after. Spacing out a lot with 2M. Oh my gosh, the raw transient. So much 2M. Oh, that was dirty. Nice conversion. See what combo he does. Oh, wow. That combo is longer than I thought it would be. I may need to steal that. I'm surprised he got off 2 of the 2-3-6H's here. That's a good point. After the counter, he goes for a safe jump. Wow, he's caught her a lot with that, I'm not gonna lie. If it works, it works. These raw heavy transients are just working. This is the second time that he's done safe jump into light flip. There might be something to that. Seems like a better option to just go for your button here. So I assume the reason he's doing it is just like kind of mess with their timing. Because if it doesn't really give you a safe jump, the only reason you would like actually do this is to mess with their head. Right? It looks like if you do this, you can be like slightly plus. If you do it deep, like, you're gonna be super plus. I can definitely see people wanting to take their turn. Yeah, that's actually not bad. It's like something to add to mental stack. I'm still curious about using this 2M so often. I mean, there's definitely a lot of like unique strings that you can use with it, but it's not like that plus, you know? So I can definitely see people disrespecting it after the initial frame trap of just 2M. Like you saw right there, like he spaced out the 2M, and so she ended up being like, okay, I'm just gonna press, because that shit's only +1. Like, you can see a lot of times on defense, kind of just sits there and, like, waits for his opportunity. Something I need to do. It makes you pretty consistent as a player, you know? If you're able to defend like that. Oh, that was a really nice use of 2U. Usually when you see 2U use, you see it used, like, raw, right? So instead, he ends up going for 2U to stop whatever she was going to do, because she actually stood up and ended up getting the hit. Actually pretty smart. Oh, and good use of the 5L, because he's pretty far away here, so if he went for like the usual mediums to convert, this wouldn't actually hit, but using 5L here in Kagura stance actually lets it work. He has an interesting combo structure. Seems pretty good. I should definitely take that. he gets off 2-3-6H's in a combo. So one thing I really liked that Sprite was doing was this. Okay, so basically, you know how you do like stagger pressure, like 5L, like maybe throw into 2M? That whiff split. If you do it fast, it doesn't. So in Genji stance, it's hard to threaten a lot, especially if you're doing like 5L. Obviously, you don't really want to be in the fireball stance up close. So doing 5L like this, swapping stances with it to be in the more aggressive stance, gives you a lot of options, and still gives you like the stagger. So this is actually really nice, because obviously this will frame trap, and this still frames trap. So it's really nice. If I look different, no I don't. So I was surprised that Sprite used this ability. This is a hard one to use, because it's so slow, and you can be hit out of it. It'll weirdly whiff at certain ranges and be super negative, but it is safe. So that's like a really nice way to get out of the corner. What I usually do is, obviously I'll spend a BP in this situation, but I'll usually do Command Dash and an EX flip, but that can definitely be punished if you're starting to get predictable. So just doing like the ult one, especially here, not the easiest reaction, especially after a button where you can threaten Fireball. So this is actually a really nice way to get out the corner. The reason he's using Setsuna so much is because in this matchup, it's honestly really nice. It catches her backdash stuff. So pretty abusable, especially since she doesn't have super long normals. So here, this is what I was showing earlier. Like, this is fake. That's why he said F it. Because that safe jump, if you're using flip, it's gonna be fake. Doing a normal, and instead of canceling into something regular like a fireball, what he does is he does the side swap, and he's actually getting away with this a lot. So that's a really good way to use the command dash after like hitting a normal, because they're probably expecting you to do a more safe cancel. All right, let me see it. I have trouble against Vayne. Wow, that is a really interesting way to just say F it. So let's see how he does his block string pressure here. What it looks like he's doing here is he's heavily staggering his pressure. So he's waiting after to see if he'll actually contest and press a button. Because by doing this, he's not going to get mashed on and actually get hit. Like, if he gets mashed on, he'll probably be blocking. But he still gets to try and take his turn. He's kind of feeling out his opponent is what it looks like. Sprite is not the first person I've seen this. I've also seen Koyao, another insane Narmaya, do like pretty safe block string pressure. Like where you're like staggering it heavily and waiting heavily. I do a similar setup, but if you do... So you do 2L, 5L, and this is supposed to hit and be a safe jab, but if you do it too quickly, it'll whiff. And then he actually whiffed and got like a grab really, really quickly. That is a really nice way to like mind F somebody. I like what he did here, actually, a lot. Gets in. Doesn't instantly go for a 6XL, or a 5L, because the 5L will probably whiff. 6XL, he could get mashed on. So it goes for the 2M instantly to be like, yo, like, don't mess with me. Like, don't mash on me. Stance swaps again, kind of, like, messes with their head, because he could go for a fireball there. Instead goes for 6XL, and now Vayne's probably like, oh shit, like, bro, get off me. And so he presses. And then so now he goes for a 2M. Look how far away he is here, like he can't really do much. So getting the 2M here is actually a really nice way to use the move. Or on these farther away 6XLs. I think why I'm really liking the 2M pressure now is because when I do a block string, it usually leaves them quite far away. I'll do something like this, right? Or like this. Like that's okay, but you lose out on a lot when you get this far away. And you kind of have to work your way back in. So instead, doing more patient stuff, like waiting when you're up close, and then taking your turn back, right? Instead of just full committing to a string to leave you far away, it actually lets you continue taking your turn and hedge your bets against them mashing. Nice counter hit combo as well. Usually I would just go for like medium every time, because, you know, you just want it to hit. But that's a really nice way to get extra damage. This is multiple time we've seen this now. He does the run-up after a heavy knockdown with Brave counter. And lets you get the side swap. That is super, super nice. I like the use of tight block strings here, and the use of medium fireball. Like, you can see how smart the way he uses his strings are. He doesn't overextend here at all. So the use of medium fireball is honestly really nice, because if it hits here, he's plus 10, so he's guaranteed to get this, unless Vayne probably the DP. He's guaranteed to get the 6XL. I can't believe that just, like, breaks through the shield like that. That's kind of insane. Because most abilities that you do force you to stand still, but it looks like he still has to block this. It's -8, so maybe he doesn't have a good option to punish here. That is crazy. Something I don't do enough that I'm loving seeing is throwing out these normals, and instead of, he didn't have Fireball up here, but instead of canceling into Fireball, mixing it up and going for just straight up raw transients and just going for like a grab or like a button. Like, this actually messes with people's heads a lot. This is a really strong option to do. This is a sick way to bait it. Just doing ultimate flip, if you like actually think they're going to Brave counter, that is actually a really sick option. So this is another character with cancer normals, basically best character in the game. So let's see how he fights. Also, it's Castiel, which is a very, very high-level tournament player. So these are two extremely high-caliber players right now. Interesting. That's not the first time we've seen the use of light flip from a spaced range into another normal. I didn't even know this. I did not even know this, but check this out. Check this out. So if you do light flip, obviously, like, you're negative, you know? Like, people do it sometimes to mix up between heavy command or heavy flip, so you don't get anti-aired. But you're obviously not plus. And if you get that perfect spacing, you're plus. The fact that this combo kills is also, like, nuts. Because he has no meter. Using that Brave point in the corner like that was tight. That is what let him kill. Like, this is a really sick way to confirm. Again, with the use of like super cleanly spaced out stuff and the light flip, like perfectly spaced to B+. That's a cool way to confirm that. Ah, unlucky. Clean conversions on the heavy flips, doing light into stance swap heavy. Another crazy combo. I think I've seen like Yoshimizu do that before. I think one thing that's crazy is seeing how high-level players frame trap more often than anything, you know? Like, obviously you see them go in for extended pressure sometimes, or going for throws, but I think the thing that you see the most from them is that frame trap game. Because, like, you want them to sit still most of the time, so when you actually want to go in for pressure extensions, it'll work. Also, credit to the Granblue Replays channel, and also, Granblue vs. Replay channel. So yeah, I hope you guys learned something. That's the goal of this video. If you came out of this, and especially if you're an Armaya player, and you just learned something that you can start implementing in your own game plan from VOD reviewing with me, studying Can of Sprite, then that is the goal. So hopefully you did learn something. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye. 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 Bye.